I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Answer is this. 12-team, 3 wide receiver, you take Jamar Chase. In a 10-team league, though, where you have only 2 wide receivers to start, it's an interesting supply and demand situation with a roster like that. That is where the Bijan number 1 overall maybe comes into play, because you could take Bijan and then turn around. You're still getting 2 number 1 wide receivers in a 10-team league draft.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
In extras, knocked out the Reds 6-5. This team doesn't lose. And the only thing I want to say, Tom, is I just hope they can continue this. Now, what does that mean? 40 games in a row? Of course, we know it's not going to be the case. They are peaking right now. We've seen so many times. Baseball's a long season. Boy, if the Brewers were playing this baseball on September the 28th, watch out. But they are sensational right now.
Pro baseball today, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome in. It is In-Game Live Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 1 of our 2-hour extravaganza on a fabulous football Friday. Yeah, more preseason football games after a couple last night. Got a few tonight. Obviously, a whole bunch more tomorrow as we close out the preseason, get set for the regular season, which starts in a week and a half. It's a beautiful thing. Little CFL, little WNBA. We got some baseball, Red Sox Yankees, round 2. We got the Mets in action. Got a whole lot of fun going on over the next 2 hours. Hopefully making a couple of shekels along the way. What's going on, Gabe? How are you on this fabulous Friday evening?
We're doing all right, Scott, except I'm not playing for shekels. I'm playing for real dollars here. Hopefully for big.
Okay.
Big dollars. It's one of these strange nights. It's the calm before the storm. We've got college football kickoff in the morning, and incidentally, we'll be live on at noon tomorrow with college football in-game live game day. But CFL football on right now, and the NFL preseason, Scott, and it's tricky. We talked about it last week in the preseason. But for those of you out there, and I know there's a lot of people out there, I don't bet the preseason. That's crazy. Well, coaches don't tell you what they want to do in the regular season, but they do in the preseason. And we've been talking a lot about coaches, Scott, and their track record. We talk, Dan Quinn, as we saw, really had very, very little interest in the preseason. So how about Raheem Morris? 0-5, Scott, as a head coach in the preseason with the Atlanta Falcons now. In his career, he's 5-12 straight up and 6-11 against the spread. 0-5 straight up with the Falcons. Schottenheimer, obviously, in his first year, but we've talked about it. I don't like Atlanta's back end of their quarterback situation late in these preseason football games. The Falcons have had a tough week with injuries this week as well, Scott. I think if there's a team that just wants to play this game and get off the field, it is the Atlanta Falcons tonight. The game is in Dallas. This might be as good as it gets for Jerry this year. Tonight's win, Scott. But
yeah.
Give me the Dallas Cowboys to win this game, and give me the under in the football game as well. And I'm on the Titans. The Vikings are another one, Scott. That we know Cottle really has zero interest in the preseason, and Cam Ward playing tonight. So you look at the Titans approaching it a little bit differently. And your thoughts on this one, Scott? We're taking the Kansas City Chiefs, even though the Bears have looked really good in the preseason. And the Chiefs, it's sort of hit or miss with them. But the Chiefs haven't had a good week, I guess, in the joint practices. They've been pushed around a little bit. And I just have a problem laying points. I don't trust the Bears, so to speak, to win as a favorite, Scott. But how about the fact that Caleb Williams is starting and Patrick Mahomes is starting? Patrick Mahomes is playing tonight. That's amazing, isn't it? For all like the Aaron Rodgers of the world that scoff at the preseason and they're above it, that's amazing, isn't it? Patrick Mahomes and Cam Ward, number 1 draft pick, both playing tonight.
Yeah. It's funny. I like all those picks. And you throw the story out there about Andy Reid being at his office and a bullet coming through the offices being shot at. It's like, oh, my goodness. You talk about a rally us against the world type of thing, right?
Well,
so I can't help but think.
One of the rare times, Scott, that I can't see a Chief player wasn't the danger to the public. It was the other way around. And it's a rare occurrence. It's a rare occurrence.
I got to tell you. Nothing for nothing. If you Google Chiefs and issues like this, over the last 5 years, it's a minor miracle. They're as good as they are with all the distractions, whether it's the drugs and the deaths and the car accidents and now shootings in buildings.
Even their fans.
Goodness.
Their super fans.
Even their fans.
Was robbing banks to fund his gambling habit and to go to all the games. People are like, oh, what a Chiefs super fan. He's at every game. He was robbing banks to do it. He's doing like 15 years in Oklahoma now for that. If you recall, another story, Scott, it's unbelievable. You can make a movie about it. Like, there really should be a documentary. Another one, you remember a couple of years ago, there was a weird story where a bunch of dudes went to somebody, their buddy's house to watch the Chief playoff game.
Last
and
year.
Like four of them died. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy in his house said, oh, I didn't know. I went to sleep, and I had no idea my 4 buddies were dead in my backyard. Remember? And they were like, no, because you were the one that got the drugs. You're like, just like you said. The guys, like, they really, we could do a documentary series about, like, the Chiefs, not football, just, like, outside stories about the Kansas City Chief organization and people that like them, work for them. Like we say, you can go on and on. Andy Reid's kid nearly killed a bunch of people, paralyzed a kid a couple of days before the Super Bowl, all hopped up on goofballs. Yeah, we could go on.
Really, it really is crazy with this team. That was, I think it was last year that where the kid, has
it was like 2 years ago.
Kansas City football game. Was it 2 years ago?
Took a while.
He wakes up. Can't find doesn't even think about it. Then someone goes in his backyard and he sees all the people dead, slumped over in their lawn chairs. I mean, it's just like one goofy story after another. So, so we got preseason football, including the Chiefs. I like all those plays. I really do. Got a bunch of trends. How about our 5 on the line? 5 best trends for games that are getting underway right now. All right, got some good ones here. Some interesting ones. We'll start with baseball as we go from 5 down to our very best trend. Overall, went 4-1 on Tuesday. Didn't have any yesterday because there weren't any games that weren't underway already by the time we got on the air. So we stand 68 games over 500, 218 up, 150 down. How about baseball? This game did just get underway, but I wanted to throw it out there because the trend is phenomenal. It really is. Minnesota taking on the White Sox. Minnesota 23-4. Their last 27 meetings against the White Sox. I know Minnesota's been pretty good, and the White Sox have obviously been pretty bad. But, man, 27-4, including 17-3 their last 20. So you're getting Minnesota on the road, minus 138 at the White Sox. Play number 2, Milwaukee. I know they've lost a couple of games, lost 3 out of the 5 games against the Cubbies, but they did win their last game. They're still 16-4 their last 20, 55-20 their last 75 games. So give me Milwaukee. Suspiciously low line. I know it's Jose Quintana, but 164 for the Brewers at home against San Francisco. Interesting. How about the Cubbies? All those games against Milwaukee. Under. Cubs now at a monster 13-1 under run. They're giving us 9.5 because they didn't know what the pitchers or who the pitchers would be for Cubs and Angels. So give me under 9.5 if you could still get it. Chicago at the LA Angels. Play number 4. This is kind of a so-so one, but it is what it is. They're going to win one of these 3 games over the next 3 days. That's Cincinnati, right? They've yet to be swept in 41 series or the entire season. So does that mean they're going to win tonight? No, but you play it over the next 3 days, and chances are they're going to win at least one of these next 3. So let's take Cincinnati plus the 114 tonight against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And then that leaves us with only one, the coup de grace, creme de la creme, and that is the L.A. Dodgers taking on the San Diego Padres, 10-2 going back to last year. Last 12 meetings against the Padres. They don't lose against San Diego. So our number one trend play is... Yep, L.A. A modest little number, too. Minus 120 against the San Diego Padres with, at this point, awful Yu Darvish on the hill. I'm surprised at that line as well. Some interesting lines today, Gabe.
Yeah, Darvish is 5-5 in his career against the Dodgers. Blake Snell, I thought, would have pitched against San Diego more, but I guess he was on San Diego as well. But I was surprised, Scott. He's 2-0 in his career. I was expecting, I was expecting a lot more than that, actually, than 2-0. We'll hit it on the other side. But Brewers up to minus 185 right now, but I agree with that pick.
All right, more coming up.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of thoughts.
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number one. Recapping our 5 on the line real quickly, as we always like to do, to start the program off. Minnesota laying the $138 against the White Sox. You got Milwaukee minus the 164, though Gabe had mentioned it's up to minus 185 now against the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco Giants. Under 9.5 Cubs, Angels. Cubbies had a 13-1 under run. Cincinnati plus the 114 or so against Arizona. They yet to be swept in a series, so we'll play them all 3 games until they win. And then Dodgers minus the 120 against the Padres. 10-2 their last 12, including sweeping them last week in L.A. So I am a little surprised at that line. I was surprised at the Brewers line, but again, as you mentioned, it's up now 185. I'm not surprised at that, but some interesting lines, we'll say, tonight in baseball game.
You have to be a little bit concerned about the Dodgers' dominance against San Diego. This is like a definite line in the sand game tonight for the Friars to win, because they don't win this one, then they start thinking about getting swept again. They win this one, then they start thinking about potentially sweeping the Los Angeles Dodgers. But Snell has been good, and we saw as well these pitchers, Scott, that come back from injury. A lot of people are apprehensive to bet on them, but for the most part, a lot of them have been really good. Max Scherzer was out. He came back. Nobody trusted him his first start. He was good. Clayton Kershaw, we've seen this over and over. Tonight with Bieber, and I'll admit, Bieber hadn't pitched in a while, Scott. He was pitching for the Jays tonight. His first start since he got traded to the Jays. He had never pitched with them. So tonight was his first start, and he looked good tonight as well. Blue Jays up 3-1. But as far as Snell is concerned, Dodgers are 4-1 in his 5 starts. I can't believe he's only pitched 5 games this year. He's only started 5 games, but they're 4-1 in his 5 starts, Scott. And you look at Darvish, and they're 4-4 in his 8 starts this year. So Darvish is sort of it's right down the middle. He's 5-5 in his career against the Dodgers, and of course he played for the Dodgers. He's 4-4. San Diego are 4-4 in his starts, but I like the fact that LA are 4-1 in Snell's 5 starts. Snell has been good. As you mentioned, the Dodgers have owned San Diego. They've won 7 of the last 8 games, including the sweep last weekend. You dig deeper, they're like 11-2 over the last 13 against this team. So I'll be on the Dodgers tonight, Scott, but let's not kid ourselves. We can talk about all these trends and stuff. San Diego are a good team, and how badly they want this game. But just because you want something badly in the world doesn't mean you're going to get it.
Yeah, and the way Darvish has been pitching, which is not good. That's why I'm a little surprised, minus 120, minus 130 or so, depending on where you do your shopping. So, I like, this is a chance for LA to bury them.
You've brought it up in the past, and I know the Dodgers well, being a Dodger fan. You notice when the Dodgers are interested, they're pretty good. Like, if you get their attention. Right? The Nationals can catch them, the Pirates, you can catch them, like all baseball teams. The Rockies this past week, Scott.
Colorado
they split.
Took 2 out of them.
You can catch the Dodgers on a day game, midweek, like at this time of the year, and, they're not all in. But when San Diego's yapping and throwing pitches at them and hitting their batters and their fans are chanting stuff and trolling their players on Twitter, suddenly the Dodgers are a lot more interested, and they're a lot more dangerous when they're interested.
Yeah. Which is why the numbers don't go up too much when it comes to World Series and NL pennant odds. It's crazy. You got a couple decent teams tonight losing, which is always a good bet for in-game live, right? We'll start with San Fran and Milwaukee. So Giants did score a second ago, top of the first inning. So they got a 1-0 lead against the Brewers. So now you can get Milwaukee basically at pick'em. My line is frozen right now with the baseball stuff for that game. But that's
minus
an
150. Minus 150. Ooh. That's what the Brew Crew are right now.
Still?
The odds makers,
wow.
Minus 150. And how about this? Just speaking of the Rockies, Scott. Rockies are competitive against the Dodgers. They take 3 of 4 against the D-backs. They split 2 of 4 against the Dodgers. They're down 5-0 to the Pirates, right? Because why is that? Rockies get all fired up for playing the Dodgers, right? They're like, hey, the Dodgers are here. Hey, we're into this. The Dodgers are here, and the Dodgers are not. And now suddenly Colorado's back to reality on the road against the Pirates, and it's 5-0 Bucks.
Yeah. By the way, how many people do you think they're going to say is at that game tonight? Friday night, still in August, still plenty of things to do, a lot of summer activities against Colorado.
I'm watching now, Scott, and amazingly enough, there's a lot of people in the stands.
Yeah? Wow.
Yeah, I'm not even seeing empty seats. I'm not saying it's sold out, but behind home plate, it's full. The outfield is full.
Wow, that's pretty good.
That might be one of these.
We talked about it. We had mentioned that, the games in Colorado, they're averaging 25,000. Pittsburgh, not quite the same. That's why I didn't expect that.
30,000.
Colorado. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what they're getting.
it might be a bobblehead thing. Could be cheaper hot dogs.
Yeah.
Also, if you think about it, Scott, I don't even have the Pirates schedule in front of me. I don't care. I haven't been scouting the Pirates how they're going to have their season. But, think about it. How many people said, yeah, you know what, college football starting, NFL, let's go see our last Pirate game of the year. You know what I mean? Yeah, because they're not going to be going. They're not going to be going
watch
in September.
them maybe win. Yeah,
and
maybe they'll
another
actually
thing,
win.
hey, they're playing the Rockies. Yeah, we're not going to lose 10-2 to the Phillies or something. You know what I mean? And last Friday night game of the year for the boys. You know what I'm saying?
We got Detroit. Now, I like Kansas City, so this is a hard one for me. But, if you didn't, you got Detroit losing 3-1 to KC. Royals all of a sudden got themselves back into the playoff picture. I wouldn't bet that one because I did think, like I said,
I
they're
don't
going to
trust
win.
the Tigers. I don't trust the Tigers enough, Scott. Seems like the only team
they're
they
broke
beat
out
up
of a little funk, but still.
I know. They beat up on the Astros, but the Tigers are one of the – and I'm not saying the Royals are better than the White Sox, but I got a bad taste in my mouth from the Tigers struggling against the White Sox last week. You know what I'm saying? It's just this game, and, good call by you. I just didn't trust the Tigers, so I stayed away from this one. Yeah.
I thought them getting odds. Kansas City heading into tonight's game, what are they, 13-6 or so? Where are my numbers here? 14-9, including 6-2 their last 8. So 14-9. So they're only a couple games out now in the wild card. They were looking like they were going to fall completely out of it, but now they're a couple of series away from really being right back into things. So
the one live I would say, the Braves, just because Met games are always stupid. Braves plus 3.5.
Exactly.
Playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Bengals are listening to trade offers for perennial Pro Bowler Trey Hendrickson, per me, and Tom Pelissero. It's unclear if the NFL sack leader will be playing elsewhere in 2025, and a trade will be a real challenge, but time will tell. You know it's not a real challenge? In the offseason, when he doesn't want to be here and you're trying to make a trade for him. Most people that say, okay, I have to sell a house or sell a car, let me put it out on the market, and I'll take the best deal that's available.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
They're saying that he might be back for the start of the playoffs, but their playoff spot isn't secure with the Mariners bearing down on them and the wild card completely in flux. So this is like borderline red alert because the pitching staff has not been good. We have not seen good stuff from Framber Valdez. So now that the back end of the bullpen is not good, I don't know what to make.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, our number one, third segment. You know what time it is? Time for our SGP same game parlay that we all love. All right, we talked about it. I'm going to use the Dodger game. Why not? If we're going to capitalize on LA being able to dominate San Diego, we might as well play it with an SGP. So let's start with the Dodgers minus the 120. I got it at minus 120 earlier today, so it's minus 120, maybe about 130, depending on where you do your shopping. Doesn't matter. Minus 120. We're going to go over 8. I was really going to go over 4.5 Dodger team total. But the numbers versus over 8 for the game, it was over 2-1. It bumped it up to 2-1. If you just played the Dodger, it only bumped it up to like plus 120 or so. It wasn't even worth it. So reluctantly, I'll go over 8 Dodgers in San Diego. I'll go Ohtani with a base hit against Yu Darvish. His numbers are good against Darvish, 2 Japanese players. I'll go Freddie Freeman, 1 RBI. Should get an RBI. He's been on a little bit of a tear of late after having that nasty month-long or so slump. And then the one that really bumped it up to over 12-1, third inning tie plus 140. It's a goofy one. I'm thinking if Darvish struggles, I don't want to do that in the first inning. Don't want to do it in the second inning. And hopefully these pitchers will settle in and both throw goose eggs into third inning, Snell and Darvish, and we get out of there with a 0-0 tie. So add it all up, and it's 12.5-1. We'll have some fun. Throw a couple of shekels on that one on a Friday night.
Yeah, that is pretty insane. You're hoping for a third inning tie. Like, that's so random. Yeah. But you seem to get a kick out of those inning props. I can tell you the Dallas Cowboys score an early touchdown, Scott. So the Pokes are up 7-0 right now. Joe Milton. Do you know who they like? Joe Milton's got a lot of talent. He's just very raw. He's sort of like an Anthony Richardson, right? But he didn't get drafted like it nearly as high. So they could just sort of develop him behind the scenes. But, yeah, Joe Milton rushes for the touchdown, Scott. So 7-0 for the Dallas Cowboys right now. Midway through the first quarter of play, we talked about Morris not caring about the preseason. The Vikings just kicked a field goal. And, I'm flicking around here, Scott. I got the Viking game on. And just from my eyeball test here, I don't think we're seeing 35 points here, bro. I'm telling you, like, from the vibe of this game. It's 3-0 right now. I just clicked under 34.5. Under 34.5 live in the Vikings. And I think it's not a bad number. It's 3-0. We're midway through the first quarter. If there's not a touchdown on this next drive or a field goal, this number's going to start to dip. So I wanted to get a head start on it. So we pulled the trigger, guys. Vikings-Titans under 34.5. The Falcon-Cowboy game, Scott's up to 38.5. I think you and I agreed on the under of this game. I'm not going to panic because there was an early touchdown. I'm not expecting much from Atlanta in this game. So I'm not going to panic, but I'm not going to touch the 38.5. And the Eagles are up 6-0 on the Jets right now, and that total is all the way down to 29.5. 6-0 after the first quarter.
Yeah, we got nothing. I got the game on here. The Jet offense is just awful. I'm a little surprised with the Jets. I played the over in the game at 34.5. I figured 35 points. You got a fighting chance no matter what the score is entering the fourth quarter, which is still the case here. But I thought they would play a little bit better. They haven't looked good in this preseason. New head coach. That's generally one of the principles of preseason betting, right? You bet on the team.
They
with
even
the new
had
head
a
coach.
team meeting and stuff. After the Giant game, like, they had a team meeting. They were like, guys, we're not doing this. Like, we've got to tighten that. I bet on them tonight. Dude, I thought if there was ever a team that needed to show up tonight in a preseason game, it was the New York Jets. Like, seriously, don't you?
Yeah. At home, Philadelphia, is playing for absolutely nothing at this point. They got to play it in a week and a half. So, they just want to get this game over with and just be done with it. So, yeah, a little surprised. Sirianni 4-8-2 straight up as a head coach in the preseason. So he really has shown no, desire to put his team out there and try and win these games. And maybe the Jets come back, but it's not the way it was designed with these guys coming out throwing, bullets to start the game. So like Dallas, I'd probably still, that's another thing with the Atlanta Falcons, 0-2. You mentioned with Raheem Morris. I don't get that. He's my guy. He was at Hofstra when I was doing the play-by-play over there. So I root for this Falcon team a little bit. But, man, you got to install winning attitude somewhere along the line.
I like them coming into the year. I do. I don't like the fact they've lost an offensive lineman. Like, the Falcons are cursed. It's almost like the Braves. It's like a Georgia thing. Like, the Falcons got beat up this week, Scott. But I like the Falcon win total over 7.5 this year.
Yeah, they got an opportunity. I mean, there's a lot of talent on that team. There really is. They should really challenge for that division with Tampa Bay. All right, more football talk coming up here on the Grid.
playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Lost Pages. Let's get lucky.
The Bengals are listening to trade offers for perennial Pro Bowler Trey Hendrickson, per me, and Tom Pelissero. It's unclear if the NFL sack leader will be playing elsewhere in 2025, and a trade will be a real challenge, but time will tell. You know what's not a real challenge? In the offseason, when he doesn't want to be here and you're trying to make a trade for him. Most people that say, okay, I have to sell a house or sell a car, let me put it out on the market, and I'll take the best deal that's available.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
They're saying that he might be back for the start of the playoffs, but their playoff spot isn't secure with the Mariners bearing down on them and the wild card completely in flux. So this is like borderline red alert because the pitching staff has not been good. We have not seen good stuff from Framber Valdez. So now that the back end of the bullpen is not good, I don't know what to make of it.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott Gabe, hour number one. Looking at a little preseason football here before we get back to the baseball. A little WNBA as well. Still smarting from last night's Asia Wilson. 19 stinking points. Don't get me started on that one. So Philadelphia 6-0 over the Jets.
Paige Becker's in action right now. You know, it was one of those nights last night. Vegas won easily, so Asia didn't have to push it. You know what I mean?
That's what we said. And that's what we said yesterday.
Like they were
the only way
cruising,
she wasn't going to get it.
Yeah, they were cruising all game. They were up big like early. They punched them in the mouth early, so she took it easy. She wasn't like cutthroat. Get out of my way. Sometimes she's like, get out of my way, right? Like last night she was chill. I noticed that. I'm tired of I lost a couple of overs, but speaking of just quickly with Paige, Scott, so she dropped 44 in the last game, and I said after the game, I'm like, they're going to, like, these 19, 18 and a halves aren't going to be around anymore. Like, they're going to catch on and start to put her into, like, this stay-away range. They made it 19 and a half for Paige tonight. And she's got 11 at the half. So she's not lighting it up coming off the 44. But you know as well as I do, you follow it pretty closely. She's pretty good in the second half. Like, she'll dial it up. Like, she only needs 9 more points to get to 20. And she's losing. And she'll say, hey, I'm not having a good first half. I know I'm not. Like, she's pretty hard on herself. So I feel pretty comfortable we'll get there. But I did take the Wings +8 tonight, and it is 48-34 for Seattle at the half right now.
Yeah. And that's the good, you got to believe the head coach is like, come on, Paige. If she doesn't get to 20, right? 19 and a half. If she doesn't get to 20, I don't think it's because she didn't try. In that it's not because, she's not shooting. I think it's just, what her shot is off. Just sometimes you go for 44 one day and 2 days later, you can't
she
hit the one
hasn't
side
been
of the
that
mark.
aggressive. She's only taken 5 shots.
I mean.
So if I'm the coach,
Right.
I'd be like, listen, Paige, hey.
Yeah.
I'd be like, listen, you got to shoot. Especially with the girl, I don't want to butcher her name. What is it, Rubike? You know what I'm talking about. Like, their scorer is out, right? So, like, it's got to be Paige.
All right, so they're down, and they get 15. I tell you what, at home.
I think they're
down
live
14.
at that
Do you want to
number.
give me 15? Yeah,
I think they're
I take
live.
a flyer on Dallas.
What do you think of the Minnesota-Indiana game, the road tour? Man, the schedule is hard, and the WNBA on these girls.
Yeah.
It's like, man, they just play on the road. And, like, dude, Phoenix played last night. They're playing again tonight, Scott. We'll hit that later. But No Collier again tonight. There's all this talk. Oh, she's coming back. She's coming back. They held her out again tonight, Scott. We got a tie game early in the third here against the Fever.
Lost. It's the third game in 4 nights for them. They lost last night. First time they've lost back-to-back nights, back-to-back games, rather, all season. So are they going to lose 3 in a row? But that Indiana's desperate as well. This was a real interesting, this Indiana team has fallen apart at the seams. They got more injuries. It's not just Caitlin Clark. Every time you turn around, there's another person. Cunningham is now out for the season, which they kind of thought she would be. She's done for the rest of the year. This team is just they might not make the playoffs. So right now, the Minnesota's up 2. They're laying 4.5. I wish that was, if I can get it down to almost pick them, 1.5, 2.5, I would say give me Minnesota. I think Minnesota finds a way to get the way. I don't think they're going to lose 3 in a row.
And one thing, Scott, I love about this time of the year, we're going to hit some college football guys for sure. Let's get into it soon. But
yep.
I love the nationally televised preseason games, NFL preseason. You know that the season's around the corner for real. But so I'm flicking around and I'm like, what games do I get anyways? Exactly. So I'm flicking around and, the Titan game's on CBS and I got my CFL game on as well. And, I got the baseball, etc. But Fox, Scott, women's volleyball is on right now. And yes, I've got lines for it. And yes, there are lines for it. You see women's sports taking off, right? So, we had women's college basketball, super popular, with or without Caitlin Clark. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. WNBA taking off right now, Scott. The PWHL, which we bet on too religiously, the Women's Hockey League, very good. It's doing well, right? They're expanding. There's new teams coming in. They're doing well. Women's volleyball, Scott's the next one, bro. You see, the Nebraska team? Dude, they play in the football stadium. It's one of those hip things. We draw 70,000 people, and the networks have caught on. I don't know where this is right now, Scott. It's packed right now. This stadium is jam-packed. And right now it's, speaking of which, it's Nebraska playing. Of course it is. It's Nebraska and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh got 2016. And I will say this as well, Scott. They're not very bad looking, either of these players. There's no reason not to want to watch.
Might not be beach volleyball, but it's not.
Yeah,
bad.
no,
I will say,
I will say this.
you better not have any plans for the rest of the night, though.
What's that?
You better not have any plans for the rest of the night, because those volleyball matches can take forever. I mean, it's just back and forth. It's, oh, my God, someone get a point. They're really good.
Yeah, there's the old volley when they're not playing for the point. You get the point, you only get the serve. It's after all that, you got the serve, now we didn't even get a point. But I can't help but think, Scott, I can't help but think how many, married men are sitting in their living room. They're flicking around.
Women's volleyball.
And they stopped on this, and the wife walks in. What the hell are you watching anyways? I'm really interested. Pitt's playing. Hey, honey, Pitt's playing Nebraska. It's a big game.
Big game. I'm getting 3.5 points. How do they get points? Is that the bet? Dude, how many games?
I bet volleyball. I bet volleyball a lot, but this is sort of new with the NCAA women's stuff, so they're not going all out. But in the Olympics and international volleyball, Scott, you could bet sets, over under first set, over under games. Is it going to go 5 sets, 134,
like tennis,
over under.
Right.
Exactly. So for this, it's more primitive. I was like, oh, cool. They actually do have lines, but it's more primitive. They just have game lines. Stanford, -6. So the next match coming up on Fox after this one, Stanford, -600. Florida Gators, +350. Set 1 line, you could bet the first set, Stanford, -300. Florida, +225. Normally, you could bet all kinds of stuff, but unfortunately, they don't have that option right now. And let me see. So, volleyball betting is big, Scott. I'm looking now, Bet365 has Argentinian Pro Women's League live right now. They got multiple leagues. Argentina's got a lot of volleyball going on. There's volleyball going on live right now, Scott, in Brazil and Argentina. And in other countries, I don't even know where it is. Oh, here's the Caribbean Championships. My bad. Caribbean Championships. I don't know. How about this, Scott? Yeah. NCAA Women live in-game. Nebraska. -800.
Wow.
They're not losing. They're up 2 sets.
No.
They're up 2 sets to none, but Pittsburgh's about to win. They're up 24-17. So it's the first of 25. So Pitt's about to win this set, Scott. We'll see how much it drops here. It is parlay material. Nebraska, they're like the superpower of women, like one of the superpowers. They're not losing this game.
Yeah. If I know Nebraska's good, then you know that they're really good because I don't know nothing about it. So, but I know that they're really good. Do you have a whole slate? Well, a whole slate. We got, what, 5 games? Actually, we got like 3 more 1AA, if you will, games as well, FCS games. So, but, 5 main games in college football tomorrow starts off with really a big game, Gabe. I mean, listen, we talked about the Big 12 being so jam-packed. You got 7, 8 teams that legitimately could win that conference. You lose tomorrow, whether you're Kansas State or Iowa State. They're meeting in Ireland. That you're a game and a half back. Now you're going to lose the head-to-head tiebreaker, obviously. So you need, whoever loses, we'll just say Kansas State because I like Iowa State. Kansas State loses. Now you need Iowa State to lose twice. Because even if they lost once, you'd still lose the head-to-head tiebreaker. So this is a rare time where it's a huge actual season-opening game for Iowa State and Kansas State.
It really is, and especially for Kansas State psychologically. They've lost 4 of the last 5 times that they played against Iowa State. And just think about what a long plane ride that's going to be back home if they find themselves behind the 8 ball, like you said. And an uber competitive Big 12. It's a good point you say. It's not just a game. It's like 2 games. It's like a 2-game swing almost.
Yeah. Talk more college football. Paul Stone Sports coming up next here on the Grid.
Playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Bengals are listening to trade offers for perennial Pro Bowler Trey Hendrickson for me and Tom Pelissero. It's unclear if the NFL sack leader will be playing elsewhere in 2025, and a trade will be a real challenge, but time will tell. It's not a real challenge in the offseason when he doesn't want to be here and you're trying to make a trade for him. Most people that say, okay, I have to sell a house or sell a car, let me put it out on the market, and I'll take the best deal that's available.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
They're saying that he might be back for the start of the playoffs, but their playoff spot isn't secure with the Mariners bearing down on them and the wild card completely in flux. So this is like borderline red alert because the pitching staff has not been good. We have not seen good stuff from Framber Valdez. So now that the back end of the bullpen is not good, I don't know what to make.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to In-Game Live. Game day here on the Grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 1. Talk a little college football with the season beginning tomorrow. With that, let us welcome in our good buddy Paul Stone. PaulStoneSports.org is his home. We've had him on many times before. What's going on, Paul? How are you this fabulous Friday evening?
Well, no place I'd rather be than with you and Gabe tonight on the eve of the college football season. We got 5 games tomorrow, 4 FBS versus FBS matchups. So going to be Christmas in August here for many of us starting tomorrow.
Yeah,
ready to rock in
we
Dublin.
Yeah. What do you like in that one? Kansas State, the 3.5-point favorite over Iowa State.
You're seeing some 3.5 now?
Yeah, 3.5, depending on where you do your shopping, as we say.
You know, I've really gone back and forth. I know we want selections. I really don't have a strong feeling on this game. Obviously, I mean, it has tremendous ramifications in the very balanced Big 12. The team that wins this game is going to have a leg up on the rest of the conference, obviously. You know, Kansas State's got some people to replace. DJ Giddens, their running back. The past 2 years, he's gone, but 2,500 yards rushing combined the previous 2 seasons. They got to replace a couple offensive tackles, replace a couple of cornerbacks. And then on the Iowa State side of the field, you know, it didn't get talked about much last year, but they had 2 wide receivers who almost had 1,200 yards each last year. And, of course, talking about Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, both drafted in the first 3 rounds NFL draft. So both these teams have some holes to fill, and I think the number's right where it should be. If I have a play, it's just going to be for recreation, but it's going to be a great way to open the season with a meaningful game over in Dublin.
Yeah, I'm seeing 3 as well right now, Paul and Scott. This game is interesting. As you stated, Iowa State, you wouldn't think about that. Like, oh, what team, if you walked into a sports bar and tried to, all right, I'll bet you a drink, which college football team lost 2 receivers with 1,000 yards last year? They'd be like, I don't know, Texas Tech, SMU. Like, they'd be throwing out Houston Cougars, you know, these run and shoot programs. It was Iowa State. But Iowa State have 2 good running backs coming back, right? To me, it's one of those sort of fundamental plays, Scott and Paul, almost in a sense. Better defense, I'd say Iowa State, right? Better defense, I'd say Iowa State. Better run game, I'd say Iowa State. As Avery Johnson, as flashy as he is, he can be inconsistent as well. The erratic, you know, the interceptions. We'll see if he gets the 10 picks down this year, guys. And, Paul, how much stock, and without a doubt, guys, for everyone tuning in, this isn't the lock of the century. This is like, it's a marathon, not a sprint, all right? There's going to be like 3,000 games over the next couple of months. It's like betting on the first bowl game big. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, the bowl season's here. So, you know, let's go crazy. But it is a fascinating game. But what do you think, Paul, the fact that Matt Campbell just seems to have K-State's number? He's won, you know, they've won 4 of the last 5 times that they played outright.
Yeah, they have. I mean, they've controlled this series over the last 5 years, as you pointed out. And they're also, Matt Campbell, his preferred point spread role is that of an underdog. The last 9 years, Campbell 14-8-1 against the spread as the betting underdog. So, you know, it's a good setup for Iowa State. You know, when it was 4, obviously Kansas State favored by 4 a couple of weeks ago, and you know, sometimes you wait too long, and I missed the 4, so I just hadn't gotten involved to this point. But you're right, Iowa State has controlled the recent history of this series. Kansas State has a flashy running back in Dylan Edwards, about 5'10", 170 pounds, but he's not going to be the kind of guy who can pound the rock, you know, 20 times a game, that type of guy.
All right. How about Fresno State, Kansas? Kansas laying 13.5. Oh, the disappointing season last year for
up
KU.
To 14
they did
now,
turn
Scott.
it on late. 14 now?
14.
Wow. All right.
There's
14.
Yeah. And it's probably going to get higher by kickoff tomorrow, guys. Nobody wants Fresno in this game.
Right. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Daniels, the quarterback for Kansas, to me, he's kind of the wild card to the Jayhawks season this year. He had a lot of injuries issues last year, threw some interceptions back in 2022, I believe it was, when he was fully healthy. He rushed for almost 500 yards, threw for a lot of yardage. I think 18 touchdowns, maybe 4 interceptions back in 2022. So if he's healthy, you know, Kansas State's one of those teams who I don't think is going to win the Big 12, but I think they're a team that could make some noise and be a factor, certainly, in who does ultimately win the conference. Fresno State, they're interesting to me from the standpoint of who's going to be the second best team in the Mountain West. I mean, to me, Boise State is head and shoulders above the rest of that league. A lot of people are just kind of appointing UNLV by default, so to speak, because they got Dan Mullen and they played for the conference championship last year. But, man, the Rebels lost a lot of people. They got a new football team. I don't think the Rebels are going to be the second-place team. So I'm really anxious to watch this game pan out and kind of see how Fresno can fare against a Big 12 team, but not really a strong position on this game. But the next 2, if we talk about those a little bit, I will offer some recommendations on these last 2.
I think Boise are kind of it's a walk to the playoffs for them this year. You can get it. It was like plus 190, but we missed it. It's come down a little bit. Hell, I think Boise can go on the road and potentially beat Notre Dame in the game. On the other side, we'll hit it, but massive line moves. And I agree in the sense, Odom's a better coach than Mullins is. Mullins more famous and popular, but Barry Odom's a better coach. UNLV are not going to be as good moving forward. And Mullins like soaking up the Vegas life right now. That point spread, guys, up to 29.5 right now.
Wow.
29.5. And Scott, it was like 23.5 last week, 24, up to 29.5 right now. And everybody's jumping on this. That's too many points to be laying. Idaho State, the Bengals have a couple of running backs back. They could put some points up on the board. I think the game's going to go over the number personally, but wow, 29.5 point spread right now in that game, guys.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Idaho
some numbers.
State. Yeah, I was just going to point out Idaho State last year. Again, they went, I think, 5-7, but they gave up 77 points to Eastern Washington. Eastern Washington had over 700 yards. Idaho State did average over 30 a game last year. So I'm like you, Gabe. My lean here is that to go to the over. I think UNLV can name their number of points that they score, and I think Idaho State's going to put some points up as well.
Yeah, it feels like a 48-24 type game, 48-21 or something like that, right around the number. You know what I mean?
I was going to say,
Absolutely.
They gave up 48 points 2 times, including once to North Dakota, and the other one that you mentioned, the 70-plus to Eastern Washington. So, that figures to get a bunch of points. All right, we'll talk more college football, a couple of other games when we come back in Game Live.
Playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Bengals are listening to trade offers for perennial Pro Bowler Trey Hendrickson, per me, and Tom Pelissero. It's unclear if the NFL sack leader will be playing elsewhere in 2025, and a trade will be a real challenge, but time will tell. You know what's not a real challenge? In the offseason, when he doesn't want to be here and you're trying to make a trade for him. Most people that say, okay, I have to sell a house or sell a car, let me put it out on the market, and I'll take the best deal that's available.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
They're saying that he might be back for the start of the playoffs, but their playoff spot isn't secure with the Mariners bearing down on them and the wild card completely in flux. So this is like borderline red alert because the pitching staff has not been good. We have not seen good stuff from Framber Valdez. So now that the back end of the bullpen is not good, I don't know what to make of it.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe closing out hour number 1. We'll get to our Black Cloud. Normally we do it this time. We'll do that next hour as we'll talk with Paul Stone, paulstonesports.org. A little college football. So we'll run down a couple of games tomorrow to kick off the college football season. So we'll land on Sam Houston State at Western Kentucky. Paul getting 10.5, 61.5 or so. Depending on where you do your shopping, as we like to say. Western Kentucky, new offense and defensive coordinators. They picked up a quarterback, Maverick McIver from Abilene Christian thrown for over 8,000 yards and 63 touchdowns in 3 seasons at the FCS level. Whether he could translate that into this level, I don't think it's that big of a jump. Sam Houston State NCAA best 6-0 in one-score games last year. That tends to turn itself around. Where do you go with this game?
Well, I tell you, Western Kentucky has deservedly earned a reputation under the this is the 7th year, I believe, for their head coach, Tyson Helton. They have deservedly kind of developed the reputation of being a scoring machine. You know, they put up a lot of points. They've had a lot of success with transfer quarterbacks. They topped out back in 2021. They averaged a little over 44 points a game, but the 3 seasons since, they've kind of trailed off a little bit each season, actually bottomed out at just 24.9 points per game, scored 31 points or less in 11 of their 14 games. So not quite the scoring machine they have been in the past. They do bring in Maverick McIver and his offensive coordinator, Rick Bowie, from FCS Abilene Christian. This is going to be an offense that's going to score a lot of points without question. Many of the listeners will remember the game last year, Abilene Christian playing at Texas Tech, went to overtime. I think both teams scored in the 50s.
That's right.
McIver threw for over 500 yards in that game. So he can sling it around the yard. But they got a lot of new pieces on offense, got a lot of new receivers. Sam Houston's got almost a new roster, it seems like, and a new coach as well in Phil Longo there at Sam Houston. But I found a trend, and it applies to this type of game. I don't lean on trends too heavily. But when you're talking about week 0 or week 1 games, so typically the first game for both teams, when a game is totaled 60 or above, the under is 27-12 since 2021. So it kind of goes to that axiom, if you will, of defenses being ahead of offenses, that type of thing. And I think that even holds true more so for a passing team, especially one with a lot of new parts like we see at Western Kentucky. So I'm going to kind of buck the trend here. I like the under. I'm going to take the under 61.5, Sam Houston at Western Kentucky.
It's funny you say that. It wasn't in the 60s. It was pretty much the high 50s, but I was at the season opener last year with USC and LSU. Everybody loved the over the game. Imagine, LSU's defense, this, USC Trojans, that. Game stayed under, right? Game stayed under. So it's a high number. You need a clean ride to get there. That is an interesting trend. 27-12, significant. What are your thoughts, Paul, on the nightcap with Hawaii and the Stanford Cardinal? Frank Reich is in it, head coach. Andrew Luck is running the football program. And Ben Gulbrandson's been named the starting quarterback, former Oregon State Beaver. I thought it was interesting. He said that he's learned more about quarterback play being around these two in like the last month than he knew in his entire life. Imagine, Scott, it's quite the quarterback room you got there, right? If you're a quarterback, you got Frank Reich. What are you going to tell Frank Reich and Andrew Luck? Yeah, but you guys don't understand what it's like out there. You didn't see what I saw. Right? So... And Andrew Luck, guy's pretty much been on the field. He's not like a normal guy, right? He's out there. He's almost like a de facto coach with them as well. Everybody's very down on them, Paul, obviously. And listen, I don't know, they're going to have a hard time in the ACC, but they're still bigger than Stanford are, than Hawaii are. They still have bigger players, right? They're in the trenches. They're going to have bigger players on both sides of the line. The skill position players, obviously a problem for the Stanford Cardinal, but they've got tight ends. They're just going to tight end this thing to death, and they're going to play action tight end, run the football. And I think people might be overrating Hawaii a little bit, Paul, coming into this year. What's your take on this game? That is a toss-up, but it is the last game of the night, and people are going to want to bet on it. What's your take?
Well, I'll tell you, no question. I mean, we've had a 5-point line move in this game. Obviously, these week 0 lines came out at some market-making book 2 or 3 weeks ago. So Stanford originally was 2.5-point favorite. Now Hawaii a 2.5-point favorite. But I like the Rainbow Warriors. Their quarterback, Micah Alahado, true freshman last year, started one game, the season finale against New Mexico. They beat the Lobos 38-30. New Mexico, not a great defensive team, but Alahado passed for 469 yards and 5 touchdowns, rushed for 54. I like Hawaii minus 2.5 over Stanford.
Good job, Paul. I appreciate it, man. We'll do it again soon. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
Playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Bengals are listening to trade offers for perennial Pro Bowler Trey Hendrickson per me and Tom Pelissero. It's unclear if the NFL sack leader will be playing elsewhere in 2025, and a trade will be a real challenge, but time will tell. You know it's not a real challenge? In the offseason, when he doesn't want to be here and you're trying to make a trade for him. Most people that say, okay, I have to sell a house or sell a car, let me put it out on the market, and I'll take the best deal that's available.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
They're saying that he might be back for the start of the playoffs, but their playoff spot isn't secure with the Mariners bearing down on them and the wild card completely in flux. So this is like borderline red alert because the pitching staff has not been good. We have not seen good stuff from Framber Valdez. So now that the back end of the bullpen is not good, I don't know what to make of it.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the Grid. Hour number 2. Scott and Gabe until 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We got baseball. We got a little college football like we were talking there before with Paul Stone Sports. Do appreciate him. Check out his website for all his plays. By the way, paulstonesports.org. .org, not .com or anything else, paulstonesports.org. So, and we got the little WNBA, little CFL action as well. And just to start, a little delay in this because we normally do it last segment. Let's kick off this segment, Gabe, if you don't mind, a little Black Cloud play of the day. All right, we're going to head back to that Dodger game. Going to double dip a little bit. Won't play the Dodgers to win. We got them in the SGP, but I love their total tonight. It's only 3.5. Little juice, minus 150 and change or so. But with Yu Darvish on the hill, he has not pitched great. I think we're going to get some runs tonight. I would be real surprised if the Dodgers don't put 4 runs on the board. This to me doesn't have 2-1. That more has 6-5. Nothing crazy, mind you, but a 5-4. I'm thinking at least 5 runs. To tell you the truth, I'm a little surprised it was only 3.5. I'd rather have the 3.5 in the juice than 4.5 at plus odds. I mean, the over/under itself was every once in a while these lines don't make. You would think an over/under with 8.5. And the total would be, 4.5 for the team, but it was 3.5. Not going to complain. So I got to see the Dodgers not put 4 runs on the board against Yu Darvish tonight.
Very manageable number, Scott, to deal with. Good eye, 3.5. I'm not a massive fan of team total bets when they're, we talked about the 6.5s. Remember there was 6.5s with the Dodgers
with the Colorado
last week. Yeah, 6.5s and 4.5. Okay, sort of manageable, but 3.5 is more than manageable, right? I mean, 4-3, like what I mean, like a type of baseball. You're not asking for a lot, so yeah, I can't disagree. Good eye with the team total there. The New York Jets did kick a field goal. Just a quick update for the record. So we got a puncher's shot here. The only thing is we're in a rare spot of laying points with the Jets. I laid the 3. Scott, I didn't want to lay the money lines in the games. And knowing that, these preseason games, you can get pinched like this laying 3, but it was like minus 150, minus 160. And I figured, all right, if they win the game by 1 or 2, I'm going to have to bite the bullet on this because the money line just won't add up if I do the money line on all of them. But pretty good start for us, right? We both like the Dallas Cowboys. They're up 14-3. I liked the Tennessee Titans. You agreed with the Titans pick that I gave.
Yep.
Titans up 14-3 right now. Kansas City Chiefs was more like, hey, they're getting 2.5 points. Mahomes is starting. People are overreacting to the Bears beating the Bills last week. And I liked your angle. Andy Reid got shot at. So, there's something that's something to play for. That's something to play for. And we didn't even get to Mahomes' brother and, like, all the stuff. His wife and, like, we could go on and on and on like we did earlier. But, yeah, nice start for the Chiefs. They're up 10-0. And get this, they got 1st and 10 on the Chicago 17 right now, up 10-0.
That's not bad. Yeah. Brady Cook, by the way, for whenever I see that, I always think of Brady Quinn, but no, it's not the Notre Dame quarterback. Brady Cook, the quarterback out of
former Missouri Tiger.
Yeah, exactly. Playing the whole way so far for the Jets. I don't know if he's going to play the fourth quarter or second half. 13 of 19 for 99 yards and an interception. So Kyle McCord has played the whole way for Philadelphia. I'm sitting on the over. You're sitting on the Jets. Neither one of us looking great. But at least you got a shot. It's only 6-3. I think your chance with the Jets a little bit better than I do by over
23.5. 23.5 now. That's the in game.
Man. You got the two. I don't know if you do or you don't with Philadelphia. If they were to score a touchdown, would they go for 2? So if that's the case, you really only need 2 TDs in the second half. I mean, I would think you'd get some. Like I said before, I'm really surprised with this Jets team not doing a little bit more. How badly they've looked so far this preseason.
I think they close strong. I think we're going to get this, Scott. I think the Jets are going to get this. But I'm not sure this opens up offensively. But how about this from an in-game perspective? And earlier in the week, we hit it. You and I were both on the over of the Washington-Cincinnati game. Looked like it was sailing over. The guys had settled in at 45. Yeah. And remember I said, under 58.5, 57.5 is a crazy number. I didn't bet it. And then I ended up getting under 51.5. So we still won. But where I'm going with this is if the Chiefs get up here, Scott, 17-0, it's 47.5 right now. They put a touchdown on the board. We're going to get into the 50s here. I'm going to jump in on the under. I think Ben Johnson might just say, hey, we won 38-0 last week, and this week we get killed, and, hey, regular season starts next. If I can get a high number, Scott, and it gets out of control into the 50s, touchdown, I'm pulling the trigger on the under.
Kansas City just scored again.
There it is. All right, so let's see what they post here.
Let's see what it comes up with, yeah.
It was 47.5. It was 40, so I don't know if they go all out to 54.5 because I know they will bet it. They know people will probably hop in and go, So
I see 49.5 only.
Dear God, see, Scott, they read my mind. They knew what I was thinking, huh?
Yeah.
Like seriously, I was like, man, you give me a 52.5 or something, I'm pouncing on the
going under. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. 49.5. They didn't move it much. Yeah.
No. The sad thing, if you're a Bears fan, Gabe, is Caleb Williams. You said it before. He played the whole quarter. I'm seeing how many drives the Bears had. They got no points, obviously. So 1 drive, 3 and out. 2 drives, second drive, 6 plays, punt. And so he's at 2 drives with nothing.
And that's the thing, too. And you can't – and last week he played well, and they were all like, oh, this is great. It means something. You can't say now. Right. Like next week it didn't. But it's the last week. I thought it was stupid to play him. He played well last week. How was Caleb Williams going to learn anything by playing tonight, Scott? Like, really?
Right.
Like, from his confidence standpoint, I thought they were better off. Leave on a high note, bro. You just beat the Bills 38-0 last week.
Yeah. Couldn't play any better, Maybe because you would think another coach's decision, KC to play Mahomes a quarter, influenced the Bears
Ben
to play their
Johnson was
guy
set
for a
on
quarter?
this. He was set on it, and he got defensive about it. Because people actually kind of asked, why? What's the point of playing Caleb this week? He said, because we got to go through this. And, he seemed hell-bent on it. Thing is, Caleb, one thing about Caleb, and I think he's a good quarterback, Scott, but he's also very thin-skinned. So, some guys you don't care about. You're not worried about his confidence, some guys. Like Cam Ward, you're not worried about Cam Ward's confidence. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This kid's got confidence. He's starting fights with vets in practice. Right?
He's got see that? What are you doing? What are you doing, man?
He's got confidence. You know what I'm saying? But Caleb Williams a little bit all over the place, right? So I would have, as a managerial decision, I would have talked about that and said, listen, We all know how Caleb is personality-wise. Let's have him go out on a high note here. Let him have fun with the clipboard on the sidelines. You know, him in the last game, you know?
I'll say this then. If that's the case, and I agree with you, I don't think they pull him until he puts a touchdown on the board. Right? You don't want to pull him after 3 drives, 4 drives with no points. I got to believe he's going to play the second quarter, Caleb Williams. So maybe I'd hold off on that under bet until he's out of the game.
They've blown up the whole preseason plot, haven't they, Scott? From what you and I grew up with the 4 games and the first game this, the third game that, and the second game. There's no rhyme or reason now, Scott. Hell, the Kansas City Chiefs, one of the greatest teams ever, playing their starters in the first half of a last preseason game. So what the hell is going on in this world?
Yeah. You know why? I think in part because now, used to be the preseason games were all separate from the season packages. Now you buy a season package, you get the preseason games. And fans are ticked off. Like, you listen, these are worthless games. You got to play some of our guys at least a little bit.
And also,
maybe that plays.
No. They don't get to practice much, Scott. Only a couple hours a day. So I think now they need some more time on the field.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, game day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2. Blowouts, those are the equalizers. They really are. When you do player props, it's all predicated on, okay, it's going to be a competitive game. Starters are going to get their regular minutes, blah, 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 blah. But when you get blowouts, that's the one, you can't really count on that. I bring that up only because Seattle is beating up on Dallas and Paige Becker 77-50. She's played
took her out of the
minutes,
game.
so she's... Yeah, they only played 22 minutes. She's out of the game, and she only has 11 points. No, if she had 5, you said, I think, at halftime, Gabe, she only took 2 shots in the third quarter before they yanked her.
No,
so
she had 11 at
tonight.
the half. She had 11 at the half. So she had 11 points at the half.
5 shots.
I only needed, 5 shots. Yeah, 2. I need exactly. So sorry, my bad. 9 points. As we said, it was kind of a blowout, and they didn't get back in it. It got worse.
Yeah.
It got worse. And she played until like the 7-minute mark. So they took her out for the last 3 minutes of the third quarter, and she hasn't come back since. I should have known. You talked about it, Scott, in the sense of the pitcher that nearly throws the no-hitter or that does throw the no-hitter.
Right.
She just went off for 44. It was in L.A. She was meeting celebrities after the game. And, like, it just, it had that letdown. But 19 and a half wasn't that much, Scott. You know what I mean? I wasn't asking for 44. You know what I mean? Like, she generally scores 20 a night, 22, 19, 18. One thing, though, and and I tweeted this the other night during the game, and I said this was a great bet, but I said, but she doesn't go over all the time. And the fact is, Scott, we need to sort of, bank this moving forward. The LA Sparks don't play defense, bro. So, like, she dropped 44 on them. She dropped 31 on them last week, right? The Spark games, they play into the 200s. They're like an NBA game, those guys, those girls. So Paige thrived in that. Seattle are better defensively. They clearly, and they also, Seattle Storm said, yeah, we're not letting this little girl go off for us for 44, right? So they got in her face early, and then here we are. You know what I mean?
And Seattle's fighting for a playoff spot, too. They're trying to break out of the funk there. So this was going to be a big effort.
They kind of are breaking out of that funk, though, aren't they, though? They noticed Seattle are starting to put some wins together again.
Yeah, they won back-to-back games. So I think it's 3 out of 4 now. Jets just missed a field goal. They had a long punt return.
They're with Jets.
They used
the Jets are going to
jet,
even in the preseason. The Jets are going to jet.
Jets are the Jets. They got a backup field goal kicker in there. Just let Nick Folk kick the field goal, for goodness sakes. You get a long punt return. You're down to the 30-yard line. You don't get a first down. 3 and out. You don't pick up a yard, and the guy botches a field goal. 6-3.
You're charging people money for these tickets, people. Exactly. Like, show up and play. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is such a Jet thing. Like you said, they get the massive return, and they get nothing out of it.
Demoralizing. Just demoralizing. So, all right, so 6-3. Eagles, what are the lines on those games?
22 and a half Eagles, now.
Oof. Yeah, FanDuel's got it 24 and a half, but I think Philadelphia's laying 3.5. Tennessee is locked up 14-3 over the Vikings. Vikings didn't play anybody last week. They're not playing anybody this week. That's why I like Tennessee when you mentioned that at the top of the program. Looking back, that was probably like the best play on the board. It's locked right now.
And Cam Ward was playing. Who was trying is good. Cam Ward's a competitive kid. He was out there trying, right?
Yeah. So it's locked right now. Then 34 seconds left at their own 13-yard line. Dallas 14-3 over Atlanta.
I'd like this Dallas game to slow down, Scott. I don't want to stress it out. So, 14-10, 14-11, if they go for 2, if Atlanta hypothetically scored, suddenly we got a game. And Atlanta have the ball at midfield here. But I pulled the trigger on the under this game as well. So I'd like to see this one just sort of slow down a little bit.
Bears kicked the field goal. Let me see if it was Caleb Williams in there. I bet it was. Just knowing that, he had the 3 drives with nothing. Yep. Caleb was 6 of 9, though, for 41 yards. 2 carries for 18.
I would get him out now.
But
we'll see if they play him for the whole first half. Mahomes has played the entire first half, too, guys. Mahomes, 8 of 13, 143 and a touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco with a touchdown. And Rashee Rice with a touchdown.
Hunt's playing. Look at the stats.
In hindsight, Scott, you talked about the Tennessee. Playing. In hindsight, can you imagine we got this Chief lineup at plus 2.5 points on their home field?
Yeah. Right. How many times you get to see that? But look at that Chiefs team. Kelsey's playing. Juju Smith is playing. Rashee Rice is playing. Worthy is playing. Kareem Hunt's playing. This is a Kansas City regular season game. You talk about the boys in Vegas not knowing. Yeah, there's no
George
way that they would be a
Karlaftis,
2.5
Chris
point
Jones.
dog if they do this, right?
Jaden Hicks, they're Christian Fulton. Their number 1 defense are all playing too. Everybody's in.
Wow. We'll see what happens second half, but at least you got a 14-point lead. What are they giving us?
Exactly. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Exactly.
Yeah. 12.5, yeah. I don't know if I would do that, but I would definitely be happy if I had that 2.5. That's for sure. Making the Bears favorites. That's. I'll tell you the other one tomorrow. If you just want to go pro versus minus, Baltimore laying only 2.5 at Washington. You got one of the best preseason coaches in Harbaugh, and you got one of the worst. When I say worst, I mean like just don't care in Dan Quinn. I mean,
no, he doesn't. And speaking of which, you got the Colts and the Bengals tomorrow. They're not really going to start Burrow again tomorrow, are they?
Yeah. Who are they going to play? Exactly. You're not going to play Daniel Jones, right? And I don't think Anthony Richardson wants any part of the Colts. Who's playing for the Colts?
Browning looked good last week. I like Browning tomorrow.
Real
the Bengals minus 2.5. Like you said, the Colts can't play around. Like they you know what I mean? They can't play around in this game. I like the Bengals actually. The Bengals, Scott, they can't win a game in the preseason. They're going to rattle off 2 in a row for us, buddy.
Yeah.
Let's go Bengals. I swear, remember last week I kidded. I said, yeah, they should pour Gatorade on Zach Taylor. Like guys, the Bengals didn't win a preseason game since 2022, and they tried. Like, they wanted it. And he looked like so happy, Scott. He was grinning after they won that game the other night against Washington. I was like, you really should have poured Gatorade on him. But Browning looked really good. Remember the Tinsley kid looked good? Bengals back home laying 2.5. I like that.
Yeah, definitely. Like that a lot. All right, in-game live, game day continues here on the Grid.
Playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Bengals are listening to trade offers for perennial Pro Bowler Trey Hendrickson per me and Tom Pelissaro. It's unclear if the NFL sack leader will be playing elsewhere in 2025. Any trade will be a real challenge, but time will tell. You know it's not a real challenge? In the offseason, when he doesn't want to be here and you're trying to make a trade for him. Most people that say, okay, I have to sell a house or sell a car, let me put it out on the market, and I'll take the best deal that's available.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
They're saying that he might be back for the start of the playoffs, but their playoff spot isn't secure with the Mariners bearing down on them and the wild card completely in flux. So this is like borderline red alert because the pitching staff has not been good. We have not seen good stuff from Framber Valdez. So now that the back end of the bullpen is not good, I don't know what to make of it.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live. Game day here on the Grid. Scott and Gabe checking out a little NFL, little CFL, baseball, WNBA. We'll say Mahomes is still in there. 7 minutes left to go second quarter. Chiefs lead the Bears 17-3. Chiefs have it at the Bears 38-yard line. Mahomes still in there. You know, assuming they score a touchdown, which is a big assumption. Let's just say they score a touchdown. You still need 21 points second half. With the back, like, there's no way Mahomes is playing second half. Neither is Caleb Williams, I wouldn't think. That would be nuts. So, That's assuming they get a touchdown. I don't know, maybe 47.5, maybe not as good as the 50 we were hoping for, Gabe, but I might be inclined to go under the 47.5. And any kind of luck, you don't get a touchdown.
46.5 now, even for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
they're leaning. You could tell the computer, Scott's leaning on the underside, right? Like that touchdown, they didn't bump it up much.
Yeah,
it's hovering here. Like they feel like they know. Like if they pop this too high, people are waiting to bet the under. 47.5 now. What's going on? Was there a turnover? I see KC with the ball now on the Chicago 30 again.
Yeah, 3rd and 8. I guess 38.
Let's hope they score again. Let's see if they score again, Scott. We'll finally be able to get there. Like if it's 24-3, they're not going to have a choice. You know what I mean? They're going to have to. Right. They're going to have to bump it up. We're at the half right now in Nashville. 14-3 for the Tennessee Titans. They were 3-point favorites in the football game. The total was like 35.5. It was bouncing around in that 35.5 range. The total's now 33.5 at the half. So we're at 17 at the half, 14-3. Titans laying 10.5. Cowboys up 14-3. Atlanta's still moving the ball, actually. The total's sitting at 40.5 right now. So we'll see what Atlanta does here, Scott. And see Philadelphia's moving the ball on the New York Jets. Jets had their crack, bro. Like that last drive, that really blew that bet up. It screwed your potential over, and it screwed my Jets -3 over. Especially they just could have tied it. Make it 6-6, and then right on par for a push at least,
Right. And you get a touchdown. Now all of a sudden it's 10-6, and you get Philadelphia back into scoring mode, and you got yourselves a game. And, it doesn't take much to get to 35 points. But, man, golden opportunity. You can't throw those away. I tell you, I still like Tennessee. It's up to 10.5 now. And I still like Dallas. But I do definitely like Tennessee, maybe a little bit more. This Viking team last week against New England, like I said, they rested all their starters. They only scored 13 points. They lost 20-13, something like that. Down already 14-3. Veteran head coach, veteran team for the most part. I don't think they're going to be playing too much in the second half. So they reached halftime. It's 10.5. You still would be leading, 14-13.5. I would lay the 10.5 again with Tennessee, and I'm inclined to do the same thing with Dallas. Although the Falcons just scored, so 14-9, and they're still making Dallas a 7.5-point favorite. That's interesting.
Now this becomes tricky though, because Dallas are 3-point favorites in this game. So suddenly now we're one score away from second half chaos, but can't cry about it, Scott. We bet on the preseason. You get what you get. Like, we've got to live with the Russian roulette, the roulette wheel spinning and the balls bouncing. We've got to live with it and hope that we can just win more than we could lose. But we got the college games in the morning, and I know when Paul joined us, I know we're coming up to a break again. I guess we hit on the other side. But K-State and Iowa State, I don't know what you're officially doing with the game. You can make an argument for both teams, Scott. Like, you really can. Like, it's a tricky game. You know what I mean? It's a conference game to start the season, but Matt Campbell is 4-1 in his last 5 games against these guys. In a toss-up game on a neutral field, I got a team that runs the ball better in Iowa State. They got 2 stud running backs back. You got an experienced quarterback in Rocco Becht. You got a really good coach who thrives in an underdog role against a flashy but erratic quarterback. Like, there's a lot to like about Iowa State in this game, Scott.
Yeah, I don't quite, again, not that I have to understand every line, Gabe, but I don't quite get why they're a 3.5-point underdog. I really don't.
You said it. There's 3 for the most part now. It's come down. It's 3.
Yeah. FanDuel's got it still at 3.5 here in New York.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. You said a 4-1 straight up, 5-0 against the spread their last 5 against Kansas State. Campbell is phenomenal as an underdog. How about 47-22 against the spread as an underdog, including 29-13 in Big 12 play? I mean, this guy is just great. I don't even throw you Kansas State last year.
They were an 11-win team that was in the Big 12 championship game. They were a win away from the playoffs, Scott. They're being treated like they're McNeese State or something.
Yeah. Kansas State 1-6 against the spread last season on the road. So it all points to Iowa State. Yeah. We'll look at the other game when we come back.
playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Bengals are listening to trade offers for perennial Pro Bowler Trey Hendrickson per me and Tom Pelissaro. It's unclear if the NFL sack leader will be playing elsewhere in 2025, and a trade will be a real challenge, but time will tell. You know it's not a real challenge? In the offseason, when he doesn't want to be here and you're trying to make a trade for him. Most people that say, okay, I have to sell a house or sell a car, let me put it out on the market, and I'll take the best deal that's available.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
They're saying that he might be back for the start of the playoffs, but their playoff spot isn't secure with the Mariners bearing down on them and the wild card completely in flux. So this is like borderline red alert because the pitching staff has not been good. We have not seen good stuff from Framber Valdez. So now that the back end of the bullpen is not good, I don't know what to make of it.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe looking at some of the college football games for tomorrow. So we talked Iowa State. Both of us like Iowa State versus Kansas State. Just going in order here, Gabe. That's a 12 o'clock game, Eastern time. Next game up, Iowa State, UNLV. Dan Mullen, the former Florida head coach, making his
30 and a half,
debut.
Scott, sorry. 30 and a half now.
30 and a half.
Was on. It was 29. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Let me. Okay, I'm looking at Bet3. Let me look at FanDuel now. Let me compare. Let's just see if it's what the move is here. Same thing. FanDuel's got a 29 and a half right now.
Yeah, 29. Yeah.
This and listen, man. Idaho State opened up the season last year. They lost 35. What was it? 38-15. Off the top of my head, 38-15 to the Oregon State Beavers. All right, and
that's not bad. You know.
Yeah, that's so exactly. They lost by 23. They lost by 23 to a real team. UNLV, Scott, this is not the same UNLV team as last year. Like, Barry Odom did a great job building that thing up. And he realized, remember, Scott, their quarterback transferred because they didn't pay him the $100,000 they offered him. We're not talking about like these, like, oh, yeah, $6 million NIL deal. He was like, come on, guys. You offered me, you're supposed to pay me $100,000, and you never gave me the money. Like, you know what I mean? And they were like, they told him, listen, we don't have it. Like, we don't have it. We'll figure something out. Like, and he said it turned out the quarterback of UNLV was paying his own rent. He goes, I'm broke. I pay $3,500 a month to live in a condo. He goes, I'm broke. I got no money. And he transferred out of there, and they got lucky that the Hajiq Williams kid was good. Right?
It was even better.
So he was even better. Exactly. So, but notice, Scott, Odom ran for the hills. He got the hell out of there, bro. You notice, right? He was like, I'm leaving. I'm gone. I know, like, there's no money here. Ironic, no money in Vegas, but they don't put money in
I know. I was going to say that. How's that possible,
the irony.
Right?
The irony.
Yeah.
So, not no money, but it's smoke and mirror money. So, they bring in Dan Mullen now. Alex Orji, Scott, is the quarterback. I don't know how familiar you are with him. I am, being a Michigan Wolverine fan. So, you watch a championship run and stuff, obviously. But so remember Alex Orji, number 10, big kid. Used to come in and run the ball.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Michigan.
Right. Yeah,
Michigan.
Okay.
But he played in a national championship game. Like, they had packages for him. Like, in the Rose Bowl game against Bama in the semifinal, like, they trusted him. Like, he came in and ran it for a couple of series, even when J.J. McCarthy was on the team. They tried to make him the starter last year, and he just couldn't throw the ball well enough. So, great kid, Scott. He's from Nigeria, like, one of those living his dream and like big dude. Like he can run, bro. Like he can run your ass over. He's probably going to rush for like 4 touchdowns against these Idaho State kids coming over. I mean, this kid was running over kids out of Ohio State. You know what I mean? Now, so he's coming in here. So they got an advantage. But Scott, a quarterback running around, as well as that chews up clock. That chews up clock. Right. Like they're not just Ricky White. Scott was their best wide receiver. I know UNLV program well. Ricky White was he's not there anymore. Like, they had a lot of seniors, Scott, on that team last year. Like, a lot of dudes that were there. Lot, you know what I mean? Mullen's coming in here. It's too many points, man. Like, 30 points is a lot. So, like, dude, if I'm getting 30 and a half, Scott, if UNLV scores 50, you're telling me the Bengals can't give me 20? I think they can give me 20. Right? Let's say UNLV put 45 up. I think the Bengals can give me 20. Like, I'm thinking 50 to 28. 48-28, 48-24. 31 is a lot. Big number, Scott.
You gotta have a reason. Maybe they do. Maybe Mullen given the opportunity to put 60
his
on
first
the board
game in Vegas, he's going to want to put points up, no doubt.
Yeah,
so he's not going to take the pedal off the metal. But that doesn't mean that he's going to be able to stop Idaho State from scoring enough points.
Right. This is one of those games where I like to play, just have some fun with it. I'll take Idaho State and the over. Thinking if Idaho State scores whatever it would be, I got to figure it out, 25 points, then it's guaranteed to be at least a split. Sometimes you get a double winner. And you got to remember,
and let's not forget, too. Sorry, I was going to say, this is a
timeout. Don't stop it after first downs anymore. So these others aren't like going into the 70s as much as they used to.
This is a UNLV team that lost as 45-point favorites a couple of years ago to open up a season. It's not quite the same UNLV program anymore, but they did lose as 45-point favorites to Howard, all right? It's the largest upset in college football history in week 1, Scott. Yeah. So anybody that thinks, I'm going to put UNLV in my money line parlay, a little warning. You've been warned.
Put them with the New York Liberty from yesterday or 2 days ago with Chicago Sky. So.
Can't miss, Scott. Can't miss.
Can't lose. Just bump it up. Why not, Western Kentucky laying 10.5, 61.5 against Sam Houston State. We talked with Paul before. 2 new coordinators. They bring in the quarterback. I didn't see him play, but Paul did remind me about that crazy game that he had with Texas Tech with Abilene Christian kid throwing for over 8,000 yards. Sam Houston, as I mentioned, 6-0 in one-score games last year. That's the best. That means a lot of breaks ended up going their way, so it tends to, even itself out the following year. 11-4 under last 15 games for Sam Houston State as well. Don't have a good read on this one, but if I had to, maybe a Western Kentucky, I'd put them in a 3-point teaser or a 3-team teaser and get them down to -0.5 and just let them win the football game.
This game concerns me a little bit, Scott. You've been doing this a long time. There's always a game every week, Scott, that the handicappers love, right? It becomes that trendy pick. And I swear, people have been telling me to take the over in this game for 2 months, bro. And it's 62 points. You need a clean ride. And it was a nice number that Paul brought up. Week 1, totals over 60 or more, 27-12 to the under. Yeah. Right? It's a high number in week 1. Sam Houston State, new coach, new coordinators, new quarterbacks. Like, they're a new team. And you've got Western Kentucky that is a new team. High-powered, and like all these coaches that bring kids over from the team that they were at, it's a bunch of Abilene Christian kids now that basically are on Western Kentucky. Right? And, okay, they're going to hand points up. Now, Scott, I think it probably gets there. I'm not betting the under, but I'm just letting everybody know. This is the hipster handicapper play of the week, the over in this game.
Worked well for Indiana last year. I will say that, with Liberty and bringing all the kids over. Maybe it'll do the same for Western Kentucky. I'm going to put them I'll put them at a tease, a 3-point tease. Maybe put Kansas in there as well. Jayhawks laying 13.5, maybe 14, depending on where you do your shopping against Fresno State. Fresno with a new quarterback. Returning production ranked 112th out of 130 or so teams. So basically, when the old coach left, so did all the players. This guy's starting from absolute scratch. I could see Kansas, which got off to the awful start last year, having a little purpose, little giddy up. I could see them laying. I don't really like laying 2 touchdowns, Gabe. I really don't. You really have to be leading by 3 touchdowns and be able to give up the by the way to cover that number. But that would be a good little Western Kentucky -0.5, Kansas -3.5 or 4 to start my 3-team 10-point tease.
Fresno is one of the best underappreciated football programs in America. But as you just stated, they're starting over, right? Like, they have a new coach coming in, a damn good coach, the head coach of North Dakota State, a 2-time champion, right? So this is a real football program. Their quarterback is E.J. Warner now, who happens to be Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame NFL quarterback, Kurt Warner's son, who was at Temple and he was at Rice. Interesting, Scott. He only played for Owls before. First time he's played for a team, Temple and Rice. It's first time he's on a Bulldogs now.
Not FIU? Where's FIU?
Yeah, exactly. Another good call. But I don't want to say because you're Kurt Warner's son, you're going to be good. But the kid can sling it, right? The kid can sling it, Scott. Right? But it's a new system. The coach likes to run the ball, right, for Fresno. But I'm sort of with you with the feeling that this Kansas team is better than people think. That offense is pretty good. Don't you get the feeling it's going to be right around the number? Put it this way, Scott, Kansas are going to be up by 10 in the fourth and score a touchdown and win by 17? Or they're going to be up by 17 in the fourth and Fresno score and they win by 10. You know what I'm saying? It's like one or the other.
Playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Bengals are listening to trade offers for perennial Pro Bowler Trey Hendrickson per me and Tom Pelissaro. It's unclear if the NFL sack leader will be playing elsewhere in 2025, and a trade will be a real challenge, but time will tell. You know it's not a real challenge? In the offseason, when he doesn't want to be here and you're trying to make a trade for him. Most people that say, okay, I have to sell a house or sell a car, let me put it out on the market, and I'll take the best deal that's available.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
They're saying that he might be back for the start of the playoffs, but their playoff spot isn't secure with the Mariners bearing down on them and the wild card completely in flux. So this is like borderline red alert because the pitching staff has not been good. We have not seen good stuff from Framber Valdez. So now that the back end of the bullpen is not good, I don't know what to make.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe checking out tomorrow's college football slate. One game left before we get back to the games that are going on right now. That's one of the more intriguing ones. Listen, the headliner obviously is Iowa State, Kansas State, but I am interested in this Hawaii-Stanford game. I like Hawaii, 5-7 last year. Timmy Chang, year number, 3 or 4, starting from, you talk about absolute scratch when he took over a couple of years ago. He was absolutely at the bottom. Did lose lose to Stanford 2 years ago to open up the season 37-24 at home. But I don't like the fact that they were an underdog and now they're a favorite. 5-point swing from going 2.5 down to now 2.5 up as far as being a 2.5-point home favorite. But the numbers, I will say, are there for him. Now, most of these are his dogs. 18 returning starters, like I mentioned, under Timmy Chang, the former Hawaii quarterback, right? He's covered 8 straight at home, Gabe. 15-7 against the spread overall. An under team, believe it or not. Normally you think Hawaii throwing the football all over the place, right there with everything going on. 23-12 under with Chang as head coach, including 9-2 his last 11. You got Frank Reich making his debut with Stanford. I mean, who knows what you're going to get out of him? I mean, the last time we saw him, he wasn't doing a great job with Bryce Young in Carolina. They ran out of that. So I'm going to take a flyer. Stanford also lost 20 players for the transfer portal. Everybody left. He is really just starting from absolute scratch there. So give me a Hawaii laying the 2.5.
You made a compelling argument, and I agree with this Hawaii program. I'm buddies with Jeff Reinbold, who's an assistant, one of the football directors of the Hawaii program, longtime coach in the CFL as well, Scott. He's a friend of the program. And he was there with year one when Timmy Chang took over. And, Scott, you talk about starting from scratch. They had the most inexperienced college football team in the history of college football. Like, they literally had, 6 players that had played NCAA football before on their team.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah,
it was bad, yeah.
Reinbold told me, Gabe, we look like a high school team. I said, how do things look, Coach? He goes, not good. We look like a high school team. He goes, we literally have high schoolers, Gabe. He goes, we have he goes, everybody's out of high school. And he goes, we got a bunch of local Hawaii kids out of high school. And he goes, we're a high school team. He goes, a pretty good high school team, but we're a high school team. Over the years, Timmy's built it up, and they're getting bigger and better, right? And their star wide receivers actually from Montreal, so I know his program pretty well. It's funny, Scott, you brought it up. You think Timmy Chang and run and shoot, and he was a great quarterback in the June Jones era and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And, Colt Brannon and all the great offenses and quarterbacks that they've had. But you're right, under Timmy Chang, they become the offense wasn't that good, quite frankly. And you remember their quarterback, the blonde kid, looked the part, the tattoos and the blonde hair. And I'm a star quarterback from California or whatever, Brandon Schrager. And he was okay only. And the Alaheyo kid came in, whatever. He came in late last year. He got the offense more, Scott. You could just tell. It was like, oh, yeah, okay, now, yes, get rid of the ball quick, okay. So I like what you're going with this. Their win total is 5.5. I'm thinking, all right, they can make a bowl game, right? They could win 6 games as football team. But as you and I discussed, this game is so critical to that win total, isn't it? And then you get the Stanford team. So Frank Reich comes in, and I'm sure you would agree. Frank Reich's like the last guy you picture getting along with college kids. He's so serious, you know what I mean? Very religious, you know what I mean? It's just we're very you know what I mean? Just a weird college coach. But he's been around the game forever, and Andrew Luck respects him and loves him, and all right, you just come in and help me out until I figure this thing out. Their quarterback, Ben Gulbranson, was the quarterback of Oregon State. He went 7-1 as a starter, Scott. So he's played big time football before. Yeah, they lost a lot of players, but they weren't very good anyways, number one. Number two, they still have big kids on the team, in the trenches and stuff. They're still going to be able to run for 4 yards if they want to and sort of chew some clock up, which I think they're probably going to want to, Scott, and not get into a track meet with Hawaii. I think you can make an argument for both teams. One thing I like about the Hawaii aspect of this, guys, or I should say the Stanford aspect, my apologies, is that we don't really know what their offense is going to do. There's no game tape on this. You can't look at Taylor. You can't look at past Stanford game tape. You almost have to look at Colts game tape, to be honest. I'm dead serious. All right, let's look at the Colts. Let's look at the Eagles. They're going to run an NFL pro set. And say what you will about the talent. You got Frank Reich and Andrew Luck with months to prepare for one game, Scott. They're watching Hawaii inside out. You know what I mean? They're watching Hawaii inside out. Quarterback. Yeah, saying, we can exploit this on them. We can exploit that. They're going to be pretty sharp minds, right? So do they have the kids to do it on the field's another story. Be a big win for Hawaii. This is a fun game, isn't it? It's on CBS, actually. It's on national television. It's got a fun game. 7:30 Eastern.
7:30, yeah. You normally used to, Hawaii, I'm used to two things. One, they'd always play in the Hawaii Bowl. You'd see June Jones, you're right, on the sidelines there. Christmas Eve, I'd always be wrapping my Christmas presents for my kids.
Versus Southern Miss.
Exactly. It was rooting the over. And then, all the points and everything. You're right. But it's true. Even if the coach comes from another program, at least you can go back and see, okay, you know what? These coaches came from, pick a school. We'll go watch their offense or their defense. We got a sense of what they're probably going to try and do here. But with Frank Reich, that's not necessarily the case. So you really have no idea. I guess you could go look back at Oregon State and look for game films from the quarterback, I suppose. But who
Here's
knows
a prop
what they were
for
really
you.
Try and do.
And everybody, and this is, as you can tell, I do a lot of reading. I'm into this stuff. Is Roush. It's the tight end of the Stanford Cardinal. I was reading. They basically said they're going to run this Roush kid into the ground, bro. He's like NFL good. Yeah, he's NFL good and they don't have any wide receivers, basically. Their wide receivers are all new and stuff. It's going to be, we're going to run the ball, we're going to run play action, and we're going to throw the ball to Roush at tight end. His prop is 32.5 tomorrow only. Get in on that.
All right, there you go. Unfortunately, they don't offer props in New York, unfortunately.
That's
for
right.
college sports.
Communist state. Sorry.
You bet all the craziest things in the world, how fast the ball will be pitched, but you can't bet a prop. It's the craziest thing. All right, we'll close up shop next.
Playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Cages. Let's get lucky.
The Bengals are listening to trade offers for perennial Pro Bowler Trey Hendrickson, per me, and Tom Pelissero. It's unclear if the NFL sack leader will be playing elsewhere in 2025, and a trade will be a real challenge, but time will tell. It's not a real challenge in the offseason when he doesn't want to be here and you're trying to make a trade for him. Most people that say, okay, I have to sell a house or sell a car, let me put it out on the market, and I'll take the best deal that's available.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
They're saying that he might be back for the start of the playoffs, but their playoff spot isn't secure with the Mariners bearing down on them and the wild card completely in flux. So this is like borderline red alert because the pitching staff has not been good. We have not seen good stuff from Framber Valdez. So now that the back end of the bullpen is not good, I don't know what to make of it.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe doing a little college football, a little baseball. We'll take a last peek at the WNBA, CFL as well. I'll give you three teams real quickly here that I'd like to win the college football championship, Gabe. We were talking college football. I don't necessarily think that they will, but if you want to put a bet that you want to have a live ticket come college football season, playoff time, Here's where I would go. I would take Penn State at 7-1 with their schedule. They do play Ohio State, but other than that, it's pretty easy. They don't play Michigan. They're going to be able to get in with one loss, maybe even two losses, the way the Big Ten and the SEC has been crying about having so many teams get into the college football playoff. So I think at 7-1, they're going to get in. And I think Clemson at 12-1 is another one. I mean, I think they beat LSU, but even if they don't beat LSU, they still, the ACC is better this year, but not Clemson better. I don't think you're going to get SMU being as good as they are. Louisville should be okay, but not great. I don't believe in Miami until that dopey program really gets it done. I'm not buying into them. So Clemson at 12-1 now, I think is going to be a pretty good ticket come college football-wise. And then if you just wanted to do a flyer, I do like this Iowa State team. And I like Texas Tech as well at 150-1. That team could be like the real surprise team in the Big 12. So give me Penn State 7-1, Clemson 12-1, and I'll take Texas Tech at 150-1.
I do agree as far as, listen, Penn State, their schedule is manageable. They're absolutely stacked. They will get into the playoffs even with a 10-2 record. So there's a lot to like about Penn State. I'd like a better number than 7-1. I 1,000,000% agree. I've been telling people actually for the last month that if I had to pick one team to win the championship, I would say the Clemson Tigers right now, just to sort of be a little bit, not just, Texas, Ohio State, etc., Georgia. But all these teams at the top of the board, guys, they kind of have flaws. Texas are replacing a lot of pieces. And, yeah, his last name is Manning, but the kid's thrown like 18 passes in his life, all right?
Yeah.
Before we give him the national championship and the Heisman, let him go, win some football games, all right? So you got Texas at 5-1. That's not enough. Ohio State lost a lot of production. I think Ohio State, I love the under 10.5 win total for them this year. Penn State dangerous, but Scott, can Franklin win the big game, right? So if he gets to the playoffs, how far are they going to go? So that sort of albatross always hangs over our heads. People are kind of forgetting about Georgia. Georgia is still good, but they're not dominant Georgia from a couple of years ago. I think the Ducks are set to regress a bit. Alabama, Scott, they have a lot of returning starters. Bama are dangerous, but I don't see them as winning a national championship. I think Notre Dame, I have my question marks about Notre Dame this year. I think they're really good. They'll get to the playoffs, but under 10.5, and I don't think they make it to the championship game. Not a Brian Kelly fan. Think LSU are dangerous, Scott, at 14-1. I got to acknowledge it. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a Michigan fan, but 28-1 is a crazy number, Scott. Dude, Michigan beat Ohio State last year to close the season. Then they beat Alabama in the bowl game. And they literally had the worst passing attack in the country last year. Their defense is elite. They've got, their offense will be stacked this year again. Their schedule is manageable, Scott. I think the Wolverines are a 10-2 team this year, which will get them into the playoffs. And then you got 28-1 in your back pocket. Pretty big number right there. You said Texas Tech. Texas Tech is sort of a buzzy team now. They spent $28 million on salary for the NIL. Will it all come together that quickly? Everyone's high on Illinois, Scott, as far as that trendy pick. I'll tell you, Scott, the USC Trojans at 80-1, I think are going to be a lot better than people think. And the Missouri Tigers, Scott, we went over their schedule, bro. They're 125-1. Missouri could make the playoffs with that schedule, man. And we're getting 125-1, Scott.
Yeah. I looked it up, Gabe. 7 out of the top 10 ranked teams right now are breaking in new quarterbacks. I mean, I know these programs are good every single year, whether it's Alabama or Georgia or Ohio State. I get that, but who knows how these kids are going to perform? I mean, 7 out of the top 10. And think of
Ohio State, Scott. Travion Henderson, look how good he is in the NFL right now with the Patriots. He's not there anymore. Junkins, the transfer from Mississippi, he's not there anymore. So, you got a new quarterback, Julian Sayin, it hasn't played. He doesn't have the star. And I'm not saying the new kids won't be good, but they've lost a lot of talent. The Sawyer kid was the heart and soul of the defense, Scott, the Jack Sawyer.
Yep.
He was there for 4 years. He's not there anymore. They got to replace a lot of leaders on that team.
Yeah. Listen, you could be good, but to expect these kids to come in and be national championship,
exactly.
That's asking a lot. Yeah, really is. Hey, you folks, have yourselves a great weekend. College football is here. Enjoy the games, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show.